Hey, it's Aleksi Kii. You're watching GRIMM TV.
Really nice to meet you. Um, how are you doing today?
Doing really good.
Yeah.
Even it looks like this, but I think it's quite beautiful and feeling really well. But thanks for asking. I hope you too.
Yeah. Well, autumn has started here. I guess it's somewhat fitting in talking about your album. So,
Yeah.
but your upcoming album, it's not just a new album. It's also the first album you're releasing under Aleksi Kii.
Yeah.
Joo.
What kind of made this for you like the right time to like release under that name?
I think it's been a long time coming to find out like to start using the name. First of all, it's my own name, and then again, it doesn't have the kind of blues tones which my previous one did. Because I used to do all that, and I got it from my friends when I was broke, and that's what it means. So I was like, I don't want to be broke all my life. No, it's more like an interchange towards all the stuff I really want to do. So with this album, since it combines all of the stuff I like to do, it was a good time for me. Like,
And like how does the album itself sort of like reflects that stage in your life where you're like I'm good in releasing something under like my actual name, and like how does it kind of reflect that more compared to your like previous records?
it's more honest and poetic, and also it has multiple meanings. Same as with the name thing, I like things that can be interpreted differently. So you can like a certain word or sentence or a song or even a whole album, you can kind of like depending on who you are, where you are in your life, you can hear it differently. So that's one thing.
And like through the whole album, there's like a lot of kind of melancholy running through. Is that like what drew you to kind of like the sound on the album as it is? Is it just like the typical Finnish melancholy that lives with everything?
It's I've always had it. Some artists like once said, I don't remember who she was. She said the joy feels like a victim, but sadness is always there, and usually I feel that way, and I've tried to escape it, but I can't. So even if I do rock and more not like heavy music, I still feel that this is the stuff that comes out of these things. So that's just how it goes.
You also said that kind of if one word sort of would describe the album would be connection, right?
Yeah.
What kind of connection are you kind of hoping to kind of create between yourself and maybe the listener, or even like people in general through this album?
Yeah, I hope that, well, first of all, for me it's a personal thing. That music helps me connect with my own emotions, like keep me grounded, connect with all the important stuff in my life. And I think that music also connects people, for example us, and in gigs. It kind of has this connective force to it. But mostly it's because I feel that we have lost, many people have lost connection, and we have been divided, like, and the technology we have, which is supposed to connect us, actually makes us feel more disconnected. So what I'm trying to find is a natural connection where I feel quite okay. And I think organic music can be something that helps with reconnecting with yourself or nature or whatever you hope.
As I said, like this like, album is released in your own name, and you just mentioned that like it's more honest, and then maybe than your earlier albums. There's like throughout the album, there's like a couple of like more almost like powerful, like kind of full band tracks, but then there's also those very like kind of intimate, very almost like I guess solitary tracks.
Yeah,
like,
that's
is that something that you've done sort of intentionally, or was that just kind of flow that naturally came?
yeah. I wanted to first of all I wanted to make good songs, and then but I really wanted to have something that is just me there. Like you said, I think the right word is solitary. I play drums, bass, guitar on the last song. I mean the second to last song and the last one I played because it's just guitars and cassettes and all that. But I like that idea of having people like in every person there's a lot of different feelings, and I wanted to have many different feelings, not just one. So you can have more like an ongoing like energy there, but also a solitary, like you can. And like the last song is really long. I think it's like 6 or 7 minutes, and it's just like a really floating guitar and kind of melancholic lyrics. So it's for those moments you kind of want to just be on your own. Just, yeah, I think it's for me it's quite natural.
Yeah. You've worked with quite a few people on this album as well, right?
Yeah.
How did those collaborations kind of like influence like I don't know the sound or atmosphere of the album?
Well, I'm happy that those guys did it with me because they are so skilled, and they are like, for example, Raik, who's playing drums, and he plays also in Great Pleasures, but he's been playing with bands like again Shining and Ayattara, old metal bands, like really dark stuff. But he's a good friend of mine, and I asked him, if you want to play rock, and he said, "Okay, I'm gonna do it. Why not?" Like, and it was so easy. We didn't have to hassle anything, and he's so good. Like you can just ask him, like maybe we have to play a bit more force or less, and he's the person who can deliver. So I could keep that in mind when writing some of those drum beats, but I also gave him space to do what he feels the song needs. And for example, Nico, who was recording with us, he recorded the Lake Boys album, Great Pleasures, and he's also such a pro guy that you can just trust. Like, you don't have to micromanage or say like, hey, do this, do that, choose this mic, put this way. You just like let those guys do it the way they want to do it, and it's gonna sound good. And I think it worked out. And Kimmo, like the guy who was playing violin in one track, cello, he's also one of these guys who you can just ask. Go through the song a couple of times, and he knows what's the best thing.
Yeah, how to elevate it basically. Yeah. Your own background, like you've played in quite a few bands of very different soundscapes.
Yeah.
And now you have like this kind of like very emotional, melancholic, like Finnish rock album. What do you think for you kind of ties all of these different musical worlds like together?
I think it's keeping it. This sounds so funny, but keeping it real. And with that, I mean, I don't like quantizing things. I don't like in-ear monitors. I like bread and butter, and I like meat and potatoes when it comes to making music. Like I like guitar, I like drums, and I like working with people and trying to make it happen as humans. So I think that's one thing. And also is that I just want to do something that feels right. So if it doesn't feel quite right, just skip it. I've done a couple of things that were a bit on the edge, but it's still like part of the journey. So,
And you just mentioned like kind of keeping it real, keeping it simple. But I believe you also like are quite hands-on on like the technical side on things,
Yeah.
like the mixing, producing, mastering and stuff.
yeah.
Makes me wonder how do you kind of balance that kind of emotional side, keeping it real of music, with then like the very technical aspect of like getting it recorded, mixed, and
Yeah.
produced.
I think that you have to keep it in mind throughout the production. Maybe you know Hiilesmaa, who's a producer who's done albums with him and Amor. It's like sentence. He's the best guy with this stuff. And I went to school where he was teaching, and I learned a lot of good stuff from this guy. Nico was also at that school, and many good guys, and we share a lot of the same ideas with him also, because I think like when you start making the album, you have to already know what you're doing, unless you're doing something really progressive or experimental. You're gonna keep it leading all the time, but like stuff like this, it's a good thing that if you have the knowledge and the technical skill, so you can reach results you really want. Because otherwise, you are always relying on other people's skill and vision, and they may be different than yours. Even if you say that I want it to sound dark, how will it sound?
Yeah.
Maybe it sounds dark to that guy, but not dark to this guy. So that's something that it helps when you can do something yourself if you want to.
Yeah, just I can imagine that like the kind of technical aspect of recording an album is kind of, I guess, quite analytical. Like it's kind of needs to be quite structured and quite like kind of boring, so to say.
Yeah.
Which in a sense kind of contrasts with that kind of very emotional kind of looser side of actually creating the music.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But then again, like if I don't know about others, but with me, I cannot write songs all the time. I have some phases where they just keep coming, and I don't know why, but they just keep coming, and I write them, and I demo something. But then, like when you really start working on them, mixing, mastering, you can like switch on a different mind and put on the engineer mind. So like, okay, I have to check my pulse analyzer. So if the master is good and all that. So you can kind of switch it, but not too rapidly. It's just like you have to keep it in mind that okay, next month I'm gonna focus on this. So at least 5. Maybe it don't work out, but then.
you're now like with this album coming out, you're about to debut somewhat of like a new live band.
Yeah.
Was it Aleksi Kii, Ave?
Yeah.
What's kind of the idea or the vision behind that lineup, and then I don't know, maybe the live interpretation of the album?
Yeah, the thing is that I've had some live band before, but it was different. I had a piano player and just myself playing guitar. But now I wanted to have something that has a lot of energy, and also because Great Pleasures is not right now active, and we want to play with the guys. So we just like I asked them if you wanna join for a couple of gigs, and I have another guitar player who's really fucking good, and it's simple, it's raw, and it's easy to make happen. Like it's not like a perfect mess with 10 people and all kinds of instruments and everything. So I wanted to have these songs almost as like this, like they go on the album, but more suitable for the live environment, like a rock band.
Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah, I hope a lot of people pick the album up and enjoy it. It's coming in kind of at an ideal time because, like we said in the beginning, autumn is starting. Finnish winter is like coming. So a melancholic Finnish rock album, I feel, could be a good soundtrack for the time of the year.
Yeah, and it's a lot of the time in this country is quite dark. But it's also there's so much hope. I like hope. Without hope, there's nothing. So,
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, again, lots of luck with the album.
Thank you.
We do wrap things up. I have like a couple of like just like quick short questions to end it a little bit lighter, I guess.
Yeah.
Was just kind of wondering, since your album is quite emotional and like to connect with people and such, what is like one Finnish album that like still really moves you?
Finnish album that really moves me.
Joo, ei, okei. Mä annan nyt kasvaa. Mä sain nauttia siitä. Hyvä.
It's too hard to get a Finnish one, like an album that still moves you like a lot.
I want to say Finnish albums. This is a wild card. But it's Born from Games is in stereo.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was way ahead of its time, and it was so exciting when I was a kid, and I found that feeling of excitement in music through that. And I have never ever heard anything like that since. So every time I hear it, I still get that kind of cool feeling from that.
I find that a terrific choice because I'm a huge fan of that album as well.
Yeah.
That I discovered as well when I was a kid. So yeah, around the time that their biggest hit hit the airwaves almost everywhere in Europe, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, because you like the album, you know, Sky's the limit. That's my favorite track. It's like
And I played that album a lot when I was a teenager.
yeah.
Yeah.
You done?
I guess a very easier one maybe. Are you a typical Finn in? Do you need like coffee in the studio, or are you rather like tea or?
Yeah, coffee,
and coffee.
Depends on the day, but morning, 2 cups, daytime, 2 cups. But I've skipped the evening now. Don't sleep better. But it's important to have it.
It's a very, very, very Finnish thing.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I don't know. I like filter coffee. And many of my friends are like, you need to have the machine and everything. But I like the basic, stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Again, lots of luck with the album and
Thank you, sir.
upcoming shows. Is there anything at all that you would like to say still to whoever end up watching this to wrap things up?
I just want to thank you for the work you do for music.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's something that is not obvious,
Yeah.
and I always want to say thank you for that because it's important.
Yeah. Music is important.
Yeah,
All right, and with that, thanks for your time.
thank you.
And we'll see you around.
See you, man.
Yeah.